Wow.
I saw this video today, and it gave me such a m- I don't know, feeling of peace and gratefulness for this planet that we live on. I love Earth so much. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And I feel like a lot of people have taken life for granted. And that's one of the biggest issues with these people out there. They're so entitled to life as it's been set up for them. We fail to remember that we are just floating in the middle of space in the Milky Way on this beautiful planet of ours. That was a video of all the exoplanets that we have found over the past 25 years. I don't remember exactly the time window of that, but it was set to music. So every time they found a new exoplanet, there was a bing. So that's what you saw. It was 5,000, over 5,000 different planets that could potentially host life, at least as we know it, life that, similar to Earth. And that was, if you noticed, it was in one direction. It's beautiful. I mean, the amount that's out there is incredible. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. How you doing? It's Wednesday. It's a little sad that Quarter Black is no longer. It's no longer 1/8 Wednesday. But I did realize Caul wasn't on the show on Monday, so we got to redeem that. We got to bring him back. We got to get him on the show. Caul, welcome.
Ooh, how you doing, dude? Thank you for having me.
You're back online.
I'm back online, dude. I've never seen it so crazy in LA. Like there was like trucks and construction on every street around me,
Uh-huh.
and it was the LAW or the Water and Department of Water and Power of Los Angeles just like drilling, and the whole block went out at once, including
Wow.
it was just insane. And then right after Based Off Mondays ended, the
Yep.
lights came back on like 10 minutes after. And
Of
I was like,
course.
great.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. But the internet still stayed dead for like 3 or 4 more hours after that. And then it
Oh,
finally
man.
all came back. Yeah. So, and I
Man.
almost missed an audition because of that. Like not having power, like I wouldn't have even been able to record it.
Oh, wow.
So,
You would do it in your house. Okay.
yeah, I've
Can you
been like,
talk about what it was, or is it like on the DL or?
I mean, I don't know, but I don't want to get too specific, but I can tell you a little bit. Like basically it's a commercial for the radio
Cool.
centralized in LA.
Cool.
So it talks about Los Angeles and the freeways and stuff, and it's like for food. So it would be really cool
All
because
right.
like I would actually be able to, if I got it, I'd be able to hear myself talking about LA, which would be crazy because it's the crazy
Nice.
city I live in.
Can
But
you
yeah,
can you give us a little what kind of vocals style did you go with? Did you
well
do a couple different voices? I know you're good with voices.
they like really natural. So what
Okay.
used
So
to be
your
like
own.
yeah, basically, and it would be for any of us. Like if you were just having a conversation with a friend, that's the kind of energy they want. They still want it to be like,
Okay.
energized, and you have to be appealing, but it's really not what it used to be in the industry, which is more, like radio guy voice, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, it was cool. It was fun. I got to do a couple. I got to be the VO, which is when you like talk about the product, but then there's
Yeah.
also like characters.
Oh, okay.
And I got to be one who was frustrated in LA traffic, and I'm like, yo, I don't have to even act for this. I know how this feels. Let me
Yeah.
just say this like I'm driving. It was good. It was fun.
Right, because you live in that LA and have a
Mhm.
car, so you
Yeah.
actually know. I lived in LA for a little while, and I didn't have my own car, but I was staying at a friend's house who had an extra car, so I was able to use their car.
You
So I
need
know
it.
I
You
know
need it.
yeah, you had to. They didn't live anywhere close, and I was working in Venice at the time.
Nice. You
But
should see it now, dude. Venice.
dude, I don't even wanna it's so sad. Because I've been to Venice many times over the
Mhm.
past 2 decades, and I basically
It's a
would
famous area.
I would stop in and I would see it, and I remember the glory days of
Mhm.
Venice, and I've been there when was the last time I was in Venice?
For me, it was like 3 years ago going
I
to
don't
the
know,
Gold's Gym.
maybe 4 years ago, maybe even longer. Could be 6 or 7 years ago now. I don't even remember. But man, I have friends that still live there, and then of course the Arbor store. You
Mhm.
guys might recognize that I rock Arbor stuff a lot. I love that company a lot. They're amazing. The owner is an incredible guy. Bob, shout out to you. You're amazing. And that's their headquarters. So
Yeah.
every so often I read this news report that they had to get security because people were just the fact that the store had to get security is sad. But then
Mhm.
the security guy himself got slashed because he was protecting someone in the parking lot in the back.
Wow.
It's like even the security guys are getting attacked. It's crazy, man.
It's
So
insane.
really sad.
Dude, gas attendants. My buddy, we used to go to the Gold's Gym out there, which is the famous Gold's Gym that Arnold worked out at when he was
Yeah.
Mr. Olympia. Like he's seen Carl Weathers and Arnold in there before. But even like 3 years ago, it was bad. And that's before, because things in Hollywood, I can tell you, because I've been here for like 4 or 5 years. It's just specifically in Hollywood. And like around 2020, things got really bad. Like all of a sudden, tents everywhere. You won't see it in Beverly Hills because it's Beverly Hills,
Mhm.
which is like, I don't know, 15 minutes away from me. But in Hollywood, oh my gosh, it got way worse. And Venice definitely felt the wrath too, like Hollywood.
Well, you said you're seeing it across the street from your spot, the
Yeah,
tents are
there's
going up everywhere.
tents going up, going down, being removed, but then they like shift like
Yeah.
down the street on this other corner. And I've been going around Hollywood just walking, taking pictures. I want to make a short like 1 minute video for YouTube to just show like this is the current state of
Yeah.
like all of the streets in Hollywood. It's crazy.
Well, maybe that's more like a Twitter, because your YouTube is it's games and your voiceovers. I
Yeah, it's
feel
true.
like I don't know.
Might be too harsh.
Yeah, just not. It doesn't really fit your uh, stuff that you post on there. I mean, I like that that's where your head's at, but I
Yeah.
think
Twitter.
Twitter Twitter would be a better spot for that kind of information because people will see
Yeah.
it and be like, "Damn, look at this," and spread it.
That's a good
I
point.
so I don't know if I wasn't going to talk about this, but I saw it right before we went live, and it made me laugh out loud. I laughed, um, and it's just so funny. We have to talk about it for a little bit. So auditors, well, we're going to talk about Twitter anyway, because Twitter has been exposed by Project Veritas, and I got a
Mhm.
couple videos from them that I'm going to play for you guys if you haven't seen them yet. It's crazy, but not surprising in the slightest. It is exactly what you would think it is, about exposing the ideology behind Twitter employees and their. I'll just let them speak for themselves. I don't want to ruin it yet, but in this new audit that is going on, because part of the reason why Elon hasn't officially purchased Twitter yet is because they lied about their user numbers. There's more bots than people. Well, I mean, we know there's bots. It's not even a real surprise, but it's like they're having to admit that there's bots. Now they're auditing people's accounts, and it turns out they audited Joe Biden's account.
I heard. I heard.
And of his 22 million
Let them
followers.
guess. Let chat get some guesses in. It's
All right.
crazy, dude. I know
All
the
right.
answer, and it's like,
I
ooh.
chat, if you know the answer, don't say it, but if you don't know, how many of his 22, give me a percentage. What percent of Joe Biden's followers are real?
Oof.
What percent? I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys think, because I saw it and I laughed. I laughed my ass off. I mean,
Hmm.
that might be exposing a little bit, what it would be. I'm gonna give it to, let's see, old school news. I think just guessed correctly first. It's 50%.
Wow.
50% are real. That also means I'm gonna do a Kamala Harris. Also, that means 50% are not real. Because you know how she loves doing that.
Mhm.
Dude, I laughed my ass off. I'm not surprised. I there's a lot of people that are like, well, what else was is fake about the Democratic Party? Um, I can't actually mention it on YouTube because I'll probably get a strike for even suggesting the idea. But you get the point. See,
Hmm.
even that I feel is like, whatever. But I think that is so funny because we're thinking back, what was it, beginning of April,
Hmm.
when, or no, maybe a middle of April. I don't remember exactly when now, when Elon Musk, when it all came out that Elon was buying Twitter, and all of a sudden, all these all these Democratic or pro left accounts were like, I'm losing all these followers. Mark Hamill came out and was like, yeah, was it something I said? It's like, no, man, those were bots. There were people cleaning up their shit because they knew they were about to get exposed by Elon.
Hmm.
And now there's an audit going around, and people are losing even more followers because these bot that they manipulate what people think by posting shit and groupthink mentality. It's very real.
You
And
have to question what you're reading if it's from a person or not, and there's a good
correct.
chance it's not. And that
Mhm.
is crazy. The fact that there's even bots at all is so dystopian and crazy. Like people should be outraged just at the concept that there are bots
Yep.
influencing thought.
Yep.
That's crazy, but it's not.
Yep.
Whatever, I
I
guess.
agree. I mean, you so it's someone who wants to post anonymously versus and the same person who will have like say I had an account. I don't. I only have Adam Crigler. That's my only Twitter account. So if anyone says that they're me, it's
They're
not
not.
me. I only have one. But if I wanted to post anonymously, I don't mind people knowing who I am or knowing my opinions. I'm quite proud of the fact that I stand firm on my opinions. Um, but I feel like I should be able to do that, create a second account. Now that I don't think is a bot, right? A bot is someone,
Agreed. Yeah.
and some of these times I think the word bot is being generalized too, because there might be some sort of, I don't know, newsletter or email text chain kind of vibe that says, here's the new, it's like new NPC chip is being installed. Beep, beep, beep. All right, now go out and spread the word, SJW Army. And that's what they do. They do the same line. And I've seen countless images of all these people that screenshot all these different accounts that have Joshua X is 5673289 512. I don't know. It's a random number I came up with. But they always have the name and then a bunch of numbers, and they have no followers, and are following specific people.
Yep.
Those are very clearly bots. But then
Yes.
it's not just those kind of people that are posting this same sentence over and over and over again. So I don't know. I think I don't like the idea that you have to verify you're a human. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I
Mm.
feel like there's something, there needs to be some sort of middle ground, right?
It's
We
also
can't.
very discriminatory against artificial intelligence. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we were talking. Oh, you missed it on the show. Sadly, on Monday, we were Andreas. Uh, he has such an interesting mind, that guy. But we were talking about AI and how it. Man, what was the conversation about? And now I've had so many random conversations about AI. I'm not even sure if it was on Monday, but it doesn't matter. AI is going to be smarter than us soon. If not, it already is. It's already creating its own AI. There's going to be a point where they can oh yeah, that's right. So he was saying that you can ask this new AI questions and they respond just like a human would, and they make their own responses. So it's like we're right on that
Wow.
that edge where AI suddenly just becomes um its own sentient. I don't know if it's a reality, or is it? I'm not sure. I
I
think
mean,
so. I
that's
think it's gonna
Lieutenant
be.
Commander Data. Like we're talking about
Yeah.
Lieutenant Commander Data straight up
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
There's a
He
whole
just does
episode in
no
Star Trek
physical
about his
body.
humanity. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no physical body yet. I mean, they're working hard on it though. I was talking to Ryan
They
Stone
can do
yesterday
backflips, yo.
about sex dolls again, because it's just hilarious. I just laugh every time I because people actually marry sex dolls. But we're coming to the point where
Jeez.
they're gonna actually have personalities. They're gonna
That's
be.
scary. That's scary, dude.
I know it
I would
is.
be so uncomfortable. I'd be
It
like,
is
what?
scary.
It's like, look, if you want to
Blade
have
Runner.
sex doll, fine. Yeah, yeah.
You told me I needed to watch Blade Runner, and I went and
Yes.
finally did.
Nice.
The first movie was really slow, but I
It
made it
is
through.
slow, but it's
I
still
know
really good.
it. I didn't think it was as good as people say it is, but I didn't see it when it came out. I just watched it. I don't know,
But
a
what
couple
about the
months ago.
concepts behind the film? Would you
That's
say
what
that
I'm
those are
talking
pretty
about.
pretty dope?
That's what I'm bringing up. Yeah, of course, it's really dope.
Yeah.
Thinking about the fact that there's going to be a point where AI is indistinguishable from human beings.
Hmm.
We're not there yet, but we will be there.
I mean, if
We
the
are
AI,
heading there quick.
yeah, like if they were androids, like
Mhm.
the replicants in Blade Runner, I mean that's crazy. Like
Right.
because
Exactly.
that's indistinguishable from humans.
Well, now and then add I'll bring a different movie into it. What's that movie with Johnny Depp where he uploads his
Oh
consciousness
yeah,
into
Transcendence, which is
Transcendence?
got
So
reamed, but cool idea.
right, yeah. The idea itself, I mean, it's been done many times in different ways in all sorts of different movies, but that there's elites that want to do that. They want to live forever. They want to become the ever ruling elite that never dies. They could get hurt or whatever, and like it's okay because they could just upload their brain into a different body, a younger
That's
body.
legitimately the basically Emperor Palpatine growing clones of himself, young clones, and anytime he's about to die, I'll just put my consciousness in the next clone. He's got halls full of bodies of himself. Like, this is
Somehow Palpatine returns. God,
oof. Worse. That's written by a professional screenwriter, by the way. That
terrible.
line is a pro.
What else have they done? Because I don't believe they're pro if that's what they went with.
Yeah, right.
Well, I feel like because I know we're kind of sidetracked, but I don't care. I love this conversation. Because they didn't talk between the 3 movies. They
Hmm.
kinda were, like, made the first one, and then they were like, "Alright, let the next person." They didn't, like, plan the whole 3 series,
Yeah.
meaning they didn't follow the actual lore of what it was supposed to be. They just kinda created a whole new thing, and then the next time, they're like, "Well, let's just create a whole new thing." And
Hmm.
then they killed Snoke, and it's like, "Well, let's just create a whole new thing." Like,
Hmm.
"Oh, look how
It's
edgy
crazy.
we are."
And they went, okay, so they're driving, right? They went hard left, then they went
Yep.
hard right, then they went hard left again to try and make everyone not upset about what was The
Wrong.
Last Jedi.
No, wrong. I disagree.
How?
They went hard left,
Yeah.
and then they went hard right, and because of how much they veered, the car started rolling, and it was rolling for the 3rd film. You see?
I would disagree and say that instead of it rolling, it imploded
Okay, alright.
and it's
No, there
stardust.
was a wall right there, and it was just
Yeah.
like, "Wha boom,"
Yeah.
flat, it's just boom,
But then
and
there was this weird
done.
contingency of people that liked The Last Jedi. So when JJ tried to veer away from it, it made them
Uh-huh.
upset. So legitimately, everyone hates the third one, which is a good thing for Star Wars fans because it makes everyone realize how bad the sequels are. Also, George Lucas handed them an outline for
I
7,
know.
8, 9 and said, here you go. Just do this. And instead, they did what you said, which is hot potato, give it to a random writer. They didn't even plan it as a trilogy, like Star Wars, whatever. Just as a movie trilogy, if you don't
Yeah.
think about where your character begins and where he ends in the third movie, which they didn't at all, what are you doing? You're not a professional. Whatever.
Rey Skywalker.
Hey,
That's
Star
what they
Wars. Hey, Star Wars.
Rey Star Wars.
So
Um
bad.
Somehow we can always devolve into making fun of the final Star Wars movies. Anyway, let's talk.
Mhm,
Let's talk about Project Veritas
mhm. Yes.
making some crazy moves. I am just, dude. First off, let me just say, I've met James O'Keefe. He's so nice.
That's awesome.
What an incredible guy. He's very nice. He went and stayed in a hotel when he did the Timcast show when I was there. And I walked over and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go take a walk in the woods because it's just beautiful here. I'm gonna go down by the river and just enjoy it." And I'm like, "That's yeah, you should, man. You deserve some quality nature time because you do some crazy work." That
Mhm.
dude, seriously, and they hate him so much
Oh,
for
yeah.
and it's I I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm laughing at because I'm thinking about what they said in this exposing videos that I'm about to play for you guys, and I'm gonna pause it and we're gonna like break down some of this stuff because it's so funny when well you'll hear it. I'm gonna talk about it, and thanks to Benny Johnson for posting these. Although it's Project Veritas, but I just want to give thanks because he posted them on Twitter so I can see him. All right, this is the first one. This is Alex Martinez, the lead client partner on Twitter. Check this out. Well, he's right now. We don't make profit, so I'm just gonna say it's gonna say ideology, which is what's led us into not being profitable. Right off the bat, before we even start, just look at that. This is the first thing he says, right? He's immediately admitting that they're breaking the shareholders' trust in their fiduciary duties, in that they're not trying to make money, they're trying to enforce an ideology. But let's give a listen.
Really quick though,
Go ahead.
to add on
Yeah.
to that same mentality is exactly, in my opinion, what's possibly going on in Hollywood, which is they know they're taking the L financially. It's not about making money. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message, like the Joker says in
Yep.
Christopher Nolan's movie.
Exactly.
They want to mold the clay, not worry about scooping in the cheddar. Let's just put it that way. In my opinion.
You're absolutely right. They know it. They think no, not that they think. They fully 100% believe that they are morally correct. They are superior in every way, and that we who think differently than them are evil and need to be ousted from this planet or taught a lesson or instilled their way, or else we're just wrong.
You're like perfectly describing Voldemort from Harry Potter or Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. Like, we know what's best for you. That whole attitude. When has a good guy ever been like, I know what's best for everyone? That's so scary.
I know. It's bad. They don't even realize it. They don't. All right, let's listen to the man's words himself.
Well, right now we don't make profit, so it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable. The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech.
God, again, hold on. The way he says that.
With disgust and disdain. Like, I don't want people to have their ability to have their voice heard.
He's saying free speech is not good for the planet. I mean, it's proving that they want to eliminate speech they don't like. Oh, that speech that we don't like, that's bad for the planet. Like, you see how grand that they went. It is, we are saving the future of humans by censoring you, by getting rid of people who don't speak like we do. That is crazy. So, like you were saying, that Palpatine, so the people who listen to them and go, "Oh, hail Palpatine," like this is that person that truly believes the ends justify the means, and that's it. And that's never good. It's crazy.
It's also not even, you can take it one step further. It's not even removing speech you don't like. It's removing opposition. Like,
correct.
It's an even more, you know, point A to point B. That's what they're doing.
All right, let's continue.
Like, these people really do believe in what we're doing. These are the policies we've put in place for misinformation or mislabeling media or whatever. Yeah. Why do you think this should be taken down? Yeah. Like, those are the questions they're going to ask him. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's going to be hard for him to be like, oh, because people should make their own decision.
Yes, people should make their own decision.
Oh, amazing how he like mocks that concept.
They do. They think making your own decisions is see, that's what frustrates me. They don't want to make their own decisions. They've been trained that making your own decisions leads to extremism, people doing bad things. You know, all these people probably assumed when free speech came to Twitter that every single conservative would start talking about how they hate a certain color person or dropping the N-bomb or all this stuff. And it's like, no, we're going to continue openly discussing, mocking the people who deserve to be mocked. Public shaming needs to be a thing. You need to understand that your standpoint isn't necessarily a good thing, and maybe a little public shame is okay. It should be. And you're like, hey, that's a bad take. Instead of getting rid of everyone and being surrounded by a group of people that say, your takes are amazing. Wow, that's the way it should be. Yeah. And then when you hear someone that says, actually, maybe not, suddenly they're Nazis. It's like that's the extremes. That's what they go to. Man.
Also, public shaming, I agree with that. A great example would be Amber Heard. People that otherwise never would have heard who that is. Like, she's getting basically the veil lifted on her, and it's probably, I mean, not even probably, it's going to have a huge economic effect on her going forward.
I hope so.
It should. I mean, I don't think people are going to give money to her products or her movies anymore after this. So that's a good example of it doing something beneficial.
Yep, that's true. Well, and it's a win for like men who have been falsely accused. Believe all women. Now, fuck that.
Terrible.
I don't like.
So stupid.
No, I don't. It's like, anyone could be malicious. Anyone, guy or girl. I'm not trying to single any sex. It's like human beings. Anyone can be malicious. Anyone can be selfish and try to ruin you for whatever. It's like those people exist across the spectrum of human beings, and we got to be aware of that. So it's like, believe all women. It's like, all right, so would you say believe all men? It's like, no, I don't want to believe anyone.
Of course they wouldn't.
Right. Zach in chat just said believe facts and evidence. Exactly. Yeah. Facts and evidence. I want to know the truth. And I was talking to Ryan yesterday. Ryan Stone was on the show. He's great guest. He was saying that there was this case of this like rich dude who was being sued by his ex-wife, but they were never actually married. But they what is it called when you're legally married after you live together for so long? I don't remember what it's called.
I don't know.
But common law, I think that's what it is. But so technically they were married by common law, but all these guys were like, oh, see, like this woman is blah blah blah, and it's like, actually he bought her a ring. He introduced her as his wife to all of his friends and family for many years. They lived together. They common law marriage. Thank you. So in reality, and then he lied to the judge. He was trying to admit or say that that none of that ever happened because it was convenient, because he didn't want to lose some like half of his money. But it's like, bro, you lied, and actually you treated her like she was your wife. Sure, not legally in the you guys got married in a church kind of vibe, but like what's the difference? I found out in Canada it's only 1 year. If you're together with someone living together for 1 year, you're common law married. Isn't that nuts?
I think it's insane.
It's
and on top of that, I don't understand why it should ever be a thing, right? Like, why should it ever be a thing?
Yeah, forced marriage.
Forced marriage. I mean, is there an
I
argument?
agree.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Like, why? What if someone doesn't want to get married and they just want to live with their partner? Like,
exactly my point. Because my whole question. Look, I think marriage is great, and it's great for some people, and it's not great for others. But I'm not bashing marriage at all. My only thing is why does the government get to say anything about that? Why is there any signatures? Why is there any documents?
Let's just end right there. Why does the government have any say in that? That right there.
Yeah.
Right? That statement needs to be in bold in Times Square.
And then on top of that, dude, Canada, the 1 year thing, like you can just tell that's them like really wanting to take advantage of that. Like they're the ones who
used to be 6 months.
That's insane.
I know. I couldn't believe it when he told me that. I'm like, that's nuts, man. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. It was easy to do with you, but because we flow really well. But let's continue. Listen to this guy, Alex Martinez. He was just talking about what people were thinking about free speech.
It's like, no, but people don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out.
Yikes.
Listen to the logic of that.
Yikes.
I have to read it again. People don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in public. All right, so what he's saying is you're not allowed to think rationally. You're only allowed to think what we put out.
Mhm.
If you think outside of that window, you're wrong and you're far right and need to be removed from the platform. That is insanity. This is a cult.
As an advertiser, as my business is what I do every day and why I go out is like we want it to be as fair and transparent and accurate as possible.
Bullshit.
And if
Huge
that
lie.
means there's a level of censorship to make it correct, quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
Unquote. Correct.
Yikes.
So, oh my gosh, he even is admitting himself. He knows. This is proving that he knows that what's correct, quote unquote, isn't necessarily correct. It's what they deem to be correct.
Mhm.
There's a level of censorship to make it fit their narrative, to make it to make their information bubble remain true. That's what it is. That's what they are. That's what he's admitting it here. And that's so embarrassing that he even knows that he's wrong.
I would
That
say not only embarrassing, but malevolent, yo. That's
Absolutely.
malevolent.
You're right. You're right.
That's malevolent. You're cloaking percentages of what everyone can see with their eyes and their ears on the internet, on Twitter, on social media, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
They're trying to say you only get to look at this stuff over here. You get a little bit of this thing. No, that's not even real. That's off the board.
This is crazy, man.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
Again, and what does correct mean? I guess like, it just kind of goes into the idea of like, well, what is correct?
Yeah,
For
tell me.
influencing all these rules.
Oh, he doesn't explain it. What is correct? So he knows. See, you know when someone makes a statement and then immediately knows that they're wrong, so they immediately start defending it or like trying to explain it, even though so they already knew it themselves. Like, oh man, like people are gonna immediately know that I was wrong in that, so I'm gonna go ahead and double down and kind of like, well, what is correct? It's like, well, clearly,
What to me
whatever
he's asking is, what is the truth?
Yeah.
What is the truth?
But it's quote unquote truth, according to him.
It's crazy,
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, craziness.
For influencing all these rules that and Elon wants to dismantle them, then technically our ideology has led us to not making money because we're not making money.
Boom. Twitter is not a company. Twitter is not a company for making money. It is a company for pushing an ideology.
Yeah.
That's what he just said. That's essentially it. Our ideology has led us to not making money because we're not making money. Yeah, it's your ideology. It's pushing people out of the platform.
The fact that there is an ideology is already a problem. Like, you should not
Absolutely.
have an ideology. There should be zero.
Wait till you hear the next video that I'm gonna play. It's from someone else in the company. It dives deeper into that. So we'll get to that. It's oof, man.
And Elon wants to turn it the other way so that we can make money.
Oh, wow.
There's a statement they need all 7,000 people to say. And so they can't like tell us the real truth. He has Asperger's.
Yeah, I know that.
So he's special. You're special needs. You're literally special needs.
Okay, now he's ripping Elon.
Wow.
Elon Musk, I don't know per se about what his mental status is. I don't know if it's public information or what it is. He does seem to think differently. He does seem to have a very I don't know, mechanical mind, the way that he works things out in his mind, the way he talks when he's being interviewed. He's analyzing a lot of things at once. But to say because he's special needs, you're literally special needs. It's like, what are you saying? That he can't control a company, that he didn't become one of the richest men on the planet because he's an idiot, because he's special needs, so he can't handle the truth? Or what are you trying to do? You're trying to vilify him? Elon Musk actually, I don't remember when he tweeted. It might have been today or yesterday. He said, the attacks on me are going to ramp up.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it in a little bit, because he admitted he's voting Republican. But I don't want to jump ahead though. Let's finish this.
So I can't even take what you're saying seriously. Targeting of tapes.
Wait.
You can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Is that?
Veritas.
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees. Like they're trying to go on dates with them like this and record them and then go sell it to the New York Times and say, this is what the Twitter employee just said. This is what's really happening. This is what they're telling us to not do.
Dude,
You're lucky that you met me organically, because I would be questioning everything about you.
Isn't that just glorious? What an ending. What an ending.
As soon as he started saying that, if I was the person sitting across, I don't know if I would be able to conceal with my eyes that I'm not like, like I would be like, well.
By the way, I've been recording this. Peace.
Yeah.
It's Project Veritas, by the way. Peace. You could pay. I'm out.
I've been sweating profusely at that part.
Man, when I burst out laughing, I burst out laughing again because it's just so good. It's so glorious to just that guy. He was just, I wasn't sure if he was gonna start questioning the person. If you hadn't met me organically, I would have been questioning everything about you. And it's like, wow, you got, dude. You got. You just did everything that you.
Dude,
they have a freaking newsletter in the company warning their employees not to go outside and talk about this stuff. It's like, and they do it anyway. Why? Because they're obsessed with showing off. They're obsessed with showing other people how morally correct they are, and that the ends or the means that they do is a badge of honor. I banned Donald Trump. I'm so proud of it. I'm the one who did it. I'm sure there's someone out there that hit the button and it talks about it still to this day to their group. I don't know if it's true or not, but it would not surprise me, would it? I mean, would you be surprised if a video comes out like, yeah, I totally am the one who banned Donald Trump and it felt amazing. Hell yeah, I would do it again.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And there's a lot of narcissism and ego that makes it so that like why are you talking to this random person? It really shows you the power of, if someone is interested sexually, which is what I'm guessing because they're on a date, man, you can milk information out of people. Like they drop their guard like crazy. It's amazing to watch. Yeah.
And embarrassing.
Wow.
This next, so this one's from Siru Murugesan. I don't know how to say his name. But he's the senior engineer of Twitter. And now I
saw some of this. Yep.
This goes a little deeper into what the ideology is. Not surprised. I don't think any of you will be either.
Twitter does not believe in free speech.
Boom! Right off the bat, Twitter does not believe in free speech. So one thing I noticed from the former employee that was just talking, he said "we" a lot. He said we were this, company is us. We, they're not employees. They're part like the cult. It's like this
family.
Yeah, they are one. They're one. They are the Borg.
The Borg. I was just gonna say it, dude. The Borg
really are. Yeah, they are. They think the same. They get their NPC chips.
That meme is Borgs.
I know.
It's the Borgs it's activating so and getting the next directive. Yeah.
Yep. This is just coming out of their freaking thing. It's exactly. Man, it's crazy. So you thought that other guy was bad. Listen to this shit.
What do you mean? Free speech. Capitalists. We weren't really operating in a capitalist mode. We were very socialist. Like we're all like communist. ideologically,
Wow.
it does not make sense. Like because we're actually censoring the right, not the left. Because everyone on the right wing will be like, "Bro, it's okay to say, just gotta tolerate it." The left would be like, "No, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I need it censored, or else I'm not gonna be on the platform." So it does help the right. It's true. There is a bias.
How do they not see the camera? Where is the camera? That's honestly fascinating. But yeah, that's crazy. They don't believe in free speech. That's all. Like, do we need to hear more? Do we need more? I mean,
yeah, there's more, and it's
also
important.
commie is
It's
F.
important that the rest of what he says is pretty important to from what happens to him and what happens to people that are in the company. But before we move on, free speech is integral. It's imperative. We need free speech. Without free speech, it leads to dictators. It leads to people controlling others. And freedom, I think is, I mean, we're very close to losing it. And I do not want to lose freedom. I want my kids to grow up in a world where they're free to say whatever the hell they want. If they want to say fuck the government, more power to them. If they want to say I love the government, I would question who, like, that I was a bad father.
I would worry about your father's skills at that point and be like, I think you messed up on that one.
But hey, free speech, man. If that's what they want to say, I'd be like, man, I failed you, son.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
I guess I have a son. Anyway, I am looking forward to that. But it's crazy how these people, I said it earlier, they really think they're on the right side of history. They think that they're correct, and they're just so wrong. They're so wrong.
I don't know the two parties can truly coexist on one platform.
All right, this statement right here, I want to talk about. I don't know the two parties can truly coexist on one platform. They really want to divide us all. They want to divide us. You sent me that tweet about that guy getting all his charges dropped.
Yep.
And it just makes me this statement right here, coexisting on one platform. I talked about Earth at the beginning of the show, how beautiful this planet is, and I have this globe right here. So I constantly see Earth. It's sitting right next to me, and I'm reminded that we're all on this. We're all sitting on this planet together, and they meaning the people who want us divided, the people who want to control, the people who want the one world government, new world order, that whole thing, because it's very true. It's not a conspiracy anymore.
They've literally said word for word.
Yeah,
we've all heard it many times. It's not like a tinfoil hat thing.
Right, exactly. They want us divided because there's a shit ton more of us than there is of them, and they need to keep us at each other's throats instead of coming together and taking them down, essentially. And I posted, it's like, it's not a hate crime if unless a white person does it, and I see that because the news, the way that they portray, that there's like an investigation into Discord and Twitch now because of that guy who murdered a bunch of people, and it's like at like the same day there was a larger mass murder in a different city with a different skin color, and it's like, well, no one's, why are we focused on this? It's because they want to keep portraying white people as like this evil racist thing, and then everyone else is victims of that, and when any human being, I say this all the time, I'm a broken record. Any human being can be an asshole. Any human being can be capable of evil. I don't care what your skin color is. Anyone could be an asshole. Anyone could be awesome. Anyone. I don't care what your skin color is. The fact that they keep pushing that shit really, it pisses me off. The narrative that they keep saying all the time, and Twitter saying, I don't know the two parties can truly coexist on one platform, is they truly believe that these two people can't coexist. And what have we seen? They're trying to eliminate the opposition. Like you said, it is truly opposition to them. What do they want to do? They want to get rid of the opposition completely. Do you think this ends at Twitter? No. You think suddenly they're like, all right, they're off Twitter. good. The world's a better place. No, that's one place. They are slowly trying to take over everything and trying to eliminate their oppositions from everything. Look at movies. Look at comic books. Look at everything.
It's every medium.
All culture, every
Dude,
medium. Yes.
Every medium, it's the same message in all of it. So video games, comic books, novels, movies, TV shows, Magic the Freaking Gathering, board games, Dungeons and Dragons. You could go down the list. Cartoons, anything and everything. It's like the Hail Hydra octopus tentacles going over the whole world, like in Marvel movies. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's insane.
GH in chat just asked me an interesting question. Do you guys get your kicks over complaining and whining about Twitter and censorship when it has nothing to do with the First Amendment issues? I'm literally just saying it's bigger than Twitter. That's what I'm talking about. Twitter is it's a small piece of the puzzle. And the fact that they're going so hard in the paint for the Twitter, just for Twitter, proves that their ideology expands much more grand. It like just what Caul was just listing all the stuff. Like, were you not paying attention at all? But thanks for tuning in, though. I appreciate it. So let's move on.
What do your colleagues say about it? Like,
they hate it. Oh my god, I'm at least like okay with it, but some of my colleagues are like super left.
What do they say?
They're like, this will be my last day if it happens. So,
has much changed since like Elon's coming out?
a lot has changed. A lot has changed. We're all like worried for our jobs.
Why are you guys so worried?
Good.
You know, jobs are at stake. He's like, I started working for Twitter and became left. I think it's just like the environment. Like you're there and you become like calm. You don't know. You don't really care to like
what?
A lot of employees voted against it, but at the end of the day, board of directors have a say, and then they acted on their best interest because they didn't want to get sued. I basically went to work like 4 hours a week last quarter. That's just how it works for a company.
Yeah. How would you describe communism besides Twitter?
Essentially, like everyone gets to do whatever they want. No one really cares about like OpEx. Capitalism don't care about numbers. They care about like how to make the business more efficient. But in Twitter, it's like mental health is everything. Like if you're not feeling it, you can take a few days off. People take months off.
Oh my gosh!
But you always like do your best at any time.
Well, look, at least props to him saying he doesn't care if Elon buys it, but the whole
but what
like,
he's
you
saying,
become
though,
a commie, like the fact that he word for word says you become a commie. Like, dang, yo, he just says it word for word.
Are you not feeling good? You just take a few months off. As long as you do your best when you show up. Is that how businesses run? Is that what their commie utopia is going to look like? How is anything going to get done? You know, it's so frustrating because when you work hard, you should be rewarded for that because hard work deserves reward, not instant gratification. Fuck that shit. You know, earn your keep. That's what's important. That's what you should be doing. They are eliminating that. Just do whatever you want. Oh, whatever. We don't need to make money. We're doing amazing work here, spreading the good word of the SJW cult. That's essentially what we're hearing here. You know, if you start working at Twitter, suddenly you become commie, and it's like, so you're admitting that everyone's super lefty there. Everyone has a bias. Actually, he says that. Here, let me finish.
And that's the culture, and you know, we'll run the business as much as possible. Capitalists would be like, you gotta generate profits or you're out. A lot of people wouldn't survive in that culture.
Good,
yeah.
You shouldn't survive in that culture if you're not going to work. If you're not working, why should you survive in the society? A lot of these people it pisses me off too because they don't understand what a free market capitalism is versus like corporatism, which is we're basically living in a corporatism now. It has nothing to do with capitalism anymore. It's been hijacked by corporations that control it all. You know, we don't. It exists still a little bit, but not really. Like free market capitalism is amazing. We need that supply and demand. You know, rewarding hard work for people who make good products. Like that's what we need. Make America
Yeah.
great again. To me, is just like the best thing to make America great again. The one thing that we need to do is bring manufacturing back to America.
Oh yeah,
We shipped it.
100%.
We shipped it overseas. Everything, even our medicines. China makes all of like 85% of our medicines. Like if they were to just cut us off, probably a lot of people would just die because you know. But they're sending products for fentanyl to the cartels in Mexico to send it up because you know they want to keep up appearances, probably, which is just oh man, it's so frustrating for these people that are so blindly being led by a carrot that is it's a moldy carrot. They're following a moldy carrot. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Also, it's nefarious to not have to make money as a company because that means like, okay, well then, who's making that decision and why, and who's in
Right.
charge of that? That's so. I have so many questions just based off the fact that oh yeah, we don't worry about making money here. Like what?
Yeah.
Well, that's
How do you
very
get paid?
suspicious. That's very
How-
suspicious.
But you're getting paid to take a couple months off? Like how does that work? Like where's the money coming from if you're not working the business to make money?
99.99% of jobs,
Uh-huh.
that's not a reality. So
Right.
again, so many questions, so much suspicion immediately pops up in my head just based off of that. And shipping everything and getting all of our stuff overseas only contributes and funnels into the whole world new world order, one world government thing because everything is dependent on everything else. So we're all linked with
Yep.
those tentacles. It's really it's something.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, I think it's a beautiful so to think back to that statement earlier, why are you guys complaining about Twitter? It's like because it's exposing them all. That's
Mhm.
why it's so important. It's exposing them. Elon Musk has one of the largest followings on Twitter. Put out this statement. Let me just bring it up. Look at this. Elon Musk just stated, in the past, I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party. See, I want to just say this is what they want you to believe.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Well, I don't either now, but
Mhm.
there was a point in my life where I felt that. I thought that was the vibe. I thought
Same.
Republicans were kind of like, I don't know, cronies, you know, the
Yeah.
people that want to control you. And then the Democrats were the party of freedom. Like I was an idiot. I had no idea. I didn't know the political landscape. All I did was hear through the grapevine, you know, the mainstream media game of telephone before it
Yeah.
reached my ears. So like I was clueless.
You
But
woke up and I woke up and
absolutely.
everyone wakes up, but it's like everyone
Right.
at one point was asleep, and that should let everybody know who's listening here how powerful the entity, whatever that entity is, that not even look. I just assumed that Democrats are nice and good. Like you had that same thought. I had that
Yep.
same thought. Where did
Mhm.
that thought come from? Like it's very effective, whatever it is that does that. And when you get older and you get wiser and you have more experience, you wake up to how messed up the world is. But
Mhm.
when you're younger, man, it's so easy. I was the same. I was taken in by that same horse manure.
So Elon Musk continues. He says, "But they have become the party of division and hate, so I can
Hmm.
no longer support them and will vote Republican." Now, I got to break that down too,
Hmm.
because they've always been the party of division and hate. That's what I've come to realize. Always, from the minute they were established all the way until today, every single thing I've seen from the Democrats has been subversion and control and hate and division. Like that is their whole thing. That's their shtick. This isn't new. They're losing control because the internet has connected people behind, like outside of their grasp, and they're pissed about it. So they're about to lose Twitter. They're losing their grasps on people's minds. That's really the core of it. They're losing the grasp, and this is what we're seeing. They're thrashing out, and they're all upset because they really need to maintain control, and they're getting their armies to like really ramp it up. And of course, I'm not upset that he posted this because this is huge because what he's saying here, right? This is obvious to me that they've always been division, the party of division and hate. But for the people who are in the middle that were like me 7, 8 years ago, 9, 10 years ago, when I wasn't necessarily a Democrat. I'm not saying I was a liberal. I just was not political. All right. But I did have this subtle vibe of the Democrats are, the party of positivity, I don't know. And
Also, a
I thi-
liberal in the 90s or the 2000s is not a liberal anymore.
I agree.
They're
Yeah, that's true.
conservatives, right?
Well,
Like,
traditional liberal, yeah, is something that I would align with, like, but that's like liberty and freedom in the true sense of the word, maybe. But here, this is not for me. I'm already, I can't stand the Democrats, so this isn't me here, you know. This isn't for me. And then he said, "Now watch their dirty trick campaigns against me." It's almost got 400,000 likes, but this was sent out to 93.9 million people. Right now, not everyone maybe have seen it. I don't see all of Elon's tweets, but he that's huge. The fact that it was posted, and this is another thing that Corey is great. He's a huge advocate for school choice, and he posted this. This is just a 4-second clip of Elon, and he just says something real simple.
The Democrat Party is overly controlled by the unions.
The Democrat Party is overly controlled by the unions.
mhm.
The unions used to be necessary, right? Because they stopped corporatism and kind of maintained the worker's rights, but it has morphed and changed into a corporation or a controlling entity.
Yeah, and
It's
it
the
protects
best way
the
to
worst.
say it.
It protects the worst of
Correct.
whoever is in the union. So, like,
Yes.
let's say teaching, you'll have like
Yep.
the worst teachers in a certain school or school districts, and you won't be able to fish them out because the union will protect them, and that's not
Yep.
beneficial for what's important, which for teaching would be the students, right? Like, they're not getting the benefit of that at all.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And then, of course, there's a few good, solid comments. We got Anomaly. He's been on the show. Great guy. A leader in technology, cars, and crypto saying this. People don't realize how huge of a cultural shift this is. Exactly. That is on point. Lives of TikTok actually says Elon Musk is voting Republican. The Ministry of Truth, it was disbanded. CNN Plus is dead. Free speech on Twitter is being restored when Elon buys it. Hashtag winning. I agree. And we're going to talk about that. Actually, let's talk about it right now. The Ministry of Truth it's not dead. All right. People are celebrating, I think, a little too early. I think what they're doing is putting it on hold while we'll let the dust settle, and then they're going to bring it back very quietly. I'm assuming, even though it's hard for them to do anything quietly now because people are paying attention, and rightfully so, because they are trying to get rid of our free speech. All right. The Ministry of Truth, someone, they mentioned like, well, it has nothing to do with free speech. It's like, this is the road to it, though. This is the road to getting rid of free speech. They really believe that free speech is bad for democracy.
I think they already have gotten rid of free speech. I mean, since the advent of Twitter, or at least since 2016, people have been silenced. So how do we have free speech if people have been silenced? I don't think we do.
You can still go out in the street and say whatever you want.
That's true, but you can't
Right.
on Twitter, which is the digital public forum.
Not officially, not technically. So I see what you're saying, but there is no Internet Bill of Rights. I think we absolutely need an Internet Bill of Rights. I think it should be extended to any American company because remember, free speech doesn't exist anywhere else. Every other country has limits to what you can say and do.
But weren't Americans silenced? Wouldn't you say?
From a company that, so
I know it's complicated. I know.
Well, it's the internet, right?
Yeah.
The freedom of speech does not apply to the internet, and I think it's a problem. I think we should absolutely have freedom of speech on the internet. But
it's like their excuse to implement thought curation, Like, well, like
Yeah.
through a technicality, you know, oh, semantics, I'm allowed to do thought curation. I'm allowed to silence you. I'm allowed to make you see what I want you to see. That's still really crazy dystopian awfulness. So
Yep.
I don't care if legally you're allowed to do it. I don't care if there's a technicality, which is, oh, well, you know, like it's still horrific.
Yep.
I don't feel like I know what
I'm
you're
not
saying.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying I agree with it. You know,
Yeah.
I think freedom of speech should be all encompassing. People on the internet should be able to say whatever they want. But Twitter being a free speech platform, if someone in I don't know, one of the Middle Eastern countries that you're not allowed to be gay, like they straight up
Right.
murder gay people. Like if they
Mhm.
come out on Twitter because it's a free speech place and someone finds it and kills them, I mean, like that's a sad situation. Of course, I don't see
Mhm.
any of these SJW armies fighting for those people's rights to be gay. It's just you know, pro Disney when Disney actually removes gay scenes to cater to those countries. And it's like, well, why are you guys supporting Disney if they're doing that? I don't. So like they
Mhm.
don't see the big picture. They only see focused snippets of what they're told, and that's what the Ministry of Truth, I think, was trying to maintain. They're trying to maintain it. But anyway, it gets paused basically by disinformation. Actually, before I read this, I'm going to play this little clip. This is Peter Ducey and Jean Pierre. I think I don't know her name yet, but she is terrible. I can't stand this woman. But
Mhm.
usually, pretty much any spokesperson for the Democrats, I just can't handle.
You think the board was mischaracterized, then the disinformation board is being shut down because of disinformation? Is that what's happening here?
Look, I mean, the board was put forth for a purpose, right? To make sure that we really did address what was happening across the country when it came to disinformation. It's all.
See, this is the thing. So what they're admitting here, right? What's happening across the country is the disinformation. So they're recognizing that freedom of speech should not extend to the internet because it goes into reality. So then when people outside of the internet start saying this stuff, you know, they need to protect it. They need to stop it from happening. And all it was is they were embarrassed that people rightfully called it the Ministry of Truth. That's what it
Mhm.
is. And that's what has come out here. Biden's Ministry of Truth paused by the Department of Homeland Security. The head resigns. That's right. Nina, what's her name? Nina, whatever her name, Jankowicz. Never actually said her last name out loud, but May 18th, Department of Homeland Security announced that it will be pausing work on its recently convened Disinformation Governance Board, referred to by its opponents as Biden's Ministry of Truth, saying that its work was grossly and intentionally mischaracterized and that false attacks have become a significant distraction. The appointed head of the controversial board, Nina Jankowicz, has resigned. Good riddance. The DHS has suspended the board for 75 days, pending a review by a bipartisan Homeland Security Advisory Council. According to Fox News, a DHS spokesperson said that DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has requested that HSAC's final recommendations within 75 days. During the HSAC's review, the board will not convene and its work will be paused. But the department's critical work across several administrations to address disinformation that threatens the security of our country will continue. See how this is what they're trying to portray it as. Any disinformation is a threat to the country. Well,
It's crazy, dude.
but it's bigger than that. Going back to what that guy from Twitter, the first video I posted, it's a threat to the planet. So it's a threat to existence. That's how grandiose they've made this situation. Free speech is a direct threat to the globe. People being able to speak freely is a threat. That's what they are instilling in people's minds, and it's working, right? It's not
Yeah.
about Twitter. I wasn't talking about Twitter. Yes, it revolves around Twitter because this is like the entry into getting rid of free speech completely for everyone, because they do not want free speech. They don't want rational conversations. They don't want civil discourse amongst human beings.
They don't want what we're doing right now.
Correct.
Like when that guy
Agreed.
complained in the chat and had some snarky comments, yo, we're discussing and asking questions. That's really all we're doing. We're not complaining. We're not doing any whatever he was saying. With all due respect, you should want everyone in America, everyone in the world to be able to have long format conversations like Adam and I are having right now, to just go over it. The fact that, you know, they don't want even that, because then questions get asked. They don't want questions being asked. They want compliance.
Yep. They want compliance. That's it. They just want people to comply. Shut up and do what we say.
Or
That's
just
it.
shut up. You know, just don't speak up. Don't wake up anybody else. Don't
Yep.
enlighten anyone. Don't help
Yep.
anyone understand anything.
Yep.
As long as you stay in your corner, you're fine. But if you start waking people up, might have to censor you. Might have to take you off Twitter. And also the whole Ministry of Truth. That's the official one, right? There's also the unofficial Ministry of Truth, which would be Instagram, Facebook, the U.S. government, every government, the
That's a
Department
good
of
point.
Homeland Security. Like,
Right.
there are so many parts of that just the official one going down doesn't mean anything to me.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah, what we already have it. It's already there.
It's already there.
It's called the mainstream media. It's called the this is a threat to our democracy. That crazy video that they're all repeating the same thing.
That is legitimately the meme with the freaking chip going in the back of the head, and they're
exactly
the Borg. Bringing it right back to the Borg, dude. But yeah,
that tweet went pretty viral on my page,
as it should have.
It's so interesting to read the people, like in the comments. There are people that come to defend it, and I like reading their defense. It's like, oh, you know, well, they're all owned by the same company. I'm like, that's your defense? That it's all of it is just one company that is telling all of these local news people to say the same shit? Well, like, that's a problem. Like, local news should be like a local thing, not owned by some conglomerate that is owned by Disney or something. Like, who, you know, because they own basically everything. Rose says, "We are the Borg. You will be assimilated." Yeah, frightening, man. Thank you.
And talking about bots, I know this is a little bit before, but talking about bots, you know, there's a lot of people who are more like NPCs than people in 2022.
Shit,
you know, like they're so plugged in, not literally, but they are on social media.
You're right.
That there's no shaking them with the truth. You could. It's like in They Live when he's trying to force him to put the glasses on. He's like, look, you have to look. And it's like a 20-minute fight scene.
I know, it's a great scene.
That's legitimately people in 2022 refusing to look at anything other than what makes them happy and reaffirms what they want to be thinking and feeling.
And there's always going to be the people. There's always going to be people like the guy from the Matrix, who just wants to eat steak and believe Cypher. You know, I just want to. Ignorance is bliss. I want to just be plugged into the Matrix. I don't want to think. Because a lot of people are lazy. There's a lot of lazy people on the planet that just don't want to do the work, and that's why communism is such a beautiful image to them, because everyone gets an equal share. Well, yeah, but everyone's not equal. No, that will never exist. Humans will never always be equal, because some people are going to do more work than others. And this is not a race thing. This is just the type of personality traits that different human beings have. Some people are lazy. Some people really want to get out there and do it. Some people have drive. Some people don't. Some people want to be homeless. Some people get stuck in homelessness, and that's a sad thing. But some people, even if you give them a job, give them a house, and all this stuff, in a year's time, it's going to be wrecked. They're going to get fired from their job, and they're going to be back on the street, because that's where they want to be, because they don't want to do the work, because people can be lazy. And it's so stupid to me. I'm like, how do you not recognize that people are different? They think that they're all the same, and it's reaffirmed by getting rid of anyone that thinks differently. When you get rid of anyone else, when everything you see just reaffirms your personal worldview, then that's what happens. They're like, well, then all the people that everything I see, just that's it. That's great. I love this.
Also, I think ignorance truly is bliss, because the more you learn and the more you become aware, not to black pill everybody, but it's not like you get happier when you find out some of the things that you find out when you ask questions.
Fighting it, Caul. I'm fighting it, man.
I am too, all the time. All the time I'm fighting it. But, you know, a lot of people, I think, subconsciously, willfully keep the glasses off, because it's so much easier to just, you know, be ignorant in the sense and be happy. Like, people have families, people have jobs, people have that grind. They don't have time to worry about the insanity of what, you know, they would have to worry about had they asked questions and really take the time to look into it. And not everyone has the time to look into it. So
Yep.
yeah, that's another part of it, I think, is people want to not be awake. They want to stay asleep and stay comfortable. It's crazy.
That's the lazy ones. Those are the lazy people that would rather just get by than risk failure. We've gotten rid of that, and that's a damn shame. Anyway, let's get into some super chats. Everyone, thank you very much for joining tonight. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It feels so weird saying it. I was watching some YouTube videos earlier, and I'm like, you know what? I never tell people to subscribe.
Right?
And
I know,
and
but
honestly,
everyone does. Everyone does.
honestly, it felt weird. I don't like it. Look, if you want to subscribe to me, you're going to subscribe to me. If you don't want to subscribe, you're not going to subscribe. I don't. It feels so wrong. I don't
Sometimes
like
they
it.
overdo it. Like, I'll watch a video, and like 5 minutes in or like 2 minutes in, like, oh, by the way, and then like the arrow will pop up and the little click to subscribe. When that stuff happens, I'm like, I don't think I want to know.
I know. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone does it, and you know that's how they grow. But
it is true. Like, statistically, you will only get better results if you do it all the time. Like, it's true.
That's
it's true.
all right. It's just I'm not one to conform. Anyway, let's get into some of these super chats. Thank you all for your support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Robot Wild says, I hope this makes Betty smile and Diana Francisco smile. I finally was able to get an appointment with my back doctor Monday. I'll keep you informed. To be blessed. Maybe that's a little too much information, but I wish you well, Robert. I hope that you're doing well. GJJ celebrating 10 months as a member. Thank you so much. Says long time no see. Hello all. GJJ, welcome back to the chat. Good to see you, sir. Robert Robot again says, I about lost it the other night with my pain spiking. My friend had me play Elden Ring and beat the one-legged giant that fight. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying there, but which one is the one-legged giant? I don't know. I love Elden Ring. It's a beautiful game. It's seriously one of the best games I played in a long time. Crigler Coffee #1. I love that. You're such an ardent supporter of mine, Robert. I really do appreciate you. Academy Twilight says, imagine a mix of Ghost in the Shell and Armitage 3 as potential future. I don't know Armitage 3. I'm not sure what that is. I do know Ghost in the Shell. But what is Armitage 3? So I don't actually get the reference. Amonsong says, we are the Twitter robots. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of Twitter. I probably could have gone a little more robot there. But Mr. Wolfgram says, I recently finished Elden Ring. Game of the year for sure. Yes, it came out in the beginning of the year, and nothing is going to touch that game. I love it so much. It's beautiful. I stopped playing it only because I don't want to get sick of it. You know, I don't have everything in the game, but I don't want to. I want to I put it on the shelf for a little bit just so I can come back and be like, man, this game's great. And also, From Software always puts out a lot of DLCs for their games, so I'm pretty hyped on that. 3QH the band says, thanks Adam for the compliment on our Let's Go Brandon song. Have some singles on all platforms as 3/4 high. More red pilled songs on the way. Right on. Yeah, keep making your music. Bradley Burnett for 10 says, I'm really confused, guys. There are only 6 Star Wars movies. I saw the first one in 1997 and the last one in 2005. You guys are crazy. Next time you'll say there are more than 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Ooh,
I like this guy.
Spicy.
I like this guy. That's great.
Yes.
Bradley Burnett again for 10 says, the concept of AI is truly scary. It calls into question what humanity is. What is a soul?
What is consciousness? Yeah.
True. I'd be scared if I hadn't seen the She-Hulk trailer. With CGI that bad, I think we're safe for a good bit. Yeah, but that's CGI made by humans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, it's the fire giant. Robert just clarified. It's the boss that rips his leg off. Right. Yeah, that's the fire giant. Awesome battle. I recently just beat him with my level 1 with no upgrades.
That's
That
crazy.
that was a pain in the ass, and I died many times trying to beat that guy. But I finally did it.
That's
And
insane.
I'm quite proud of that character. 3QH the band again says, Adam. Oh wait, what did you said the same thing? But you added fight culture war with culture, music, and art. Thank you, 3QH the band. I appreciate that. Yeah, I checked out. Yeah, send me your music if you guys are musicians. Let me know. I'd love to check out your music. Bobcat says, remember, if she's a 10 and you're a 2, she's James O'Keefe.
Yeah, dude. Yes, that's what I was talking about with the whole. People
That's
are
funny.
thinking with their man. Mm-hmm.
That's good. I like that. That's funny.
Dude, but
That
isn't
made
it
me laugh.
crazy how people want to believe? So even though there should be a lot of red flags going off. Like
Yep.
usually some hot chick's not just going to sit down and start flirting with you, no matter who you are. So you should, question a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think there's a correlation between their ego and how high they think of themselves with their morally correct personas, that they
Mhm.
think they think it fine they are found more attractive. Like it's something that is related to being attractive, because in their circles I feel like it is. Like the more badges you wear, like if you're trans, disabled, like whatever, the list of victim stuff, the longer your rap sheet is, the more attractive you are in that
The rap
community.
sheet.
I mean, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's what it feels like. So they really do think that that's what it is. I don't know.
I think that's part of it. There's also just some delusion and hope. Like maybe they've never had a chick come up and hit on them, so like they're like, okay, whatever. Let me just tell you everything. Like they play their hand too much. They reveal their hand right at the beginning, and then it's GG, man. It's game over.
Game over.
That's game over, man.
You think you're getting a second date? Nah, I got what I need. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Leonardo the Redacted says communists are by far the most special needs people out there. Just got my Crigler coffee mug and it's awesome. Capitalism, for those wondering. Yes.
Nice.
True free market capitalism, where I found a good American made mug, slap my logo on it, and that's the quality product that I sell. I'm very, very stingy with products that I sell. I could have t-shirts. I could
Mm-hmm.
have stuff that could, help promote my show, but it's so difficult for me to make clothes because I worked in the modeling industry. I know how shitty and how bad what they do with old clothes. It's the season's over, they throw everything away.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate the clothing industry. I'm so grateful that I'm not using my image to sell products I don't believe in anymore. So if I'm going to sell something, I have to 100% believe in it and agree with it. And there's only one company that isn't mine that I've promoted, and I wasn't paid for it. And it's 1620 Workwear. It's a buddy of mine who started his own American-made company with a lifetime guarantee on clothing. Love that company. They're fantastic. I have a couple shorts and pants that I just bought myself. They didn't, pay me to say any of that. I just believe in their company. They're amazing. So I would like to make a shirt eventually, but it's so hard to find something that I can give you guys at a decent price.
Yeah.
Without, it's like, it's not worth it because it just would be really expensive, but maybe I will eventually. But yeah, my mug, I'm really proud of my mug. I should have one. They're all
Can
in
I
my
just say though, if you do make shirts, can I make a suggestion for the first one?
What?
I want a Bay Staff Monday shirt with a van with people on it. Pretty dope. And you might need to make a shirt. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well,
Cool.
once it settles on who's going to be on the panel, because there might be more people joining the panel.
Nice.
I really had a good time on Monday. You were sorely missed, Caul.
I was sitting next to homeless tents on my phone just to participate in the chat while I was watching LA Water and Power right next to me drilling into the street. I was so pissed, man. It was crazy.
It wasn't the same without you, man. But it's going to be a lot of fun next week. It was fun though. We laughed a lot.
Dude, I had
And-
fun watching. I mean, it's good stuff, man.
It's gonna be good. Oh man, I really enjoyed that panel. It's coming together well. Where are we at? Bradley Burnett again for $20. He says, I think Orwell said something like it first. I prefer The Keeper, Star Trek Season 1, The Menagerie. Wrong thinking is punishable. Right thinking will be as quickly rewarded. You will find it an effective combination. Yeah, man, dude.
Yeah.
The old Star Treks were just amazing. They definitely killed Star Trek. It's really sad.
That's another one, yeah.
Darth Vader says, look up the Communist Control Act of 1954. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Bring Tiger
Communist Control Act is an American law signed by President Dwight Eisenhower on 24th of August, 1954, that outlaws the Communist Party of the United States and criminalizes memberships in or support of the party or communist actions, organizations, and define evidence to be considered by a jury in determining participation in the activities, planning, actions, objectives, purposes of such organizations. Wow.
Mm.
So Twitter going all commie and admitting that they're all commie is in violation of a law.
I still can't believe they did that. Like,
interesting.
The words you get commie as F.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
you know?
yeah, that's crazy. Thank you, Vader. Yeah, that's interesting. Good to know about that. Sean Jack for 10 says, wonder how many Project Veritas interviewees are actually whistleblowers, but they play dumb to maintain plausible deniability, prevent retribution from their employer, too honest for a random first date. Well, then, okay, I didn't even think about that. But looking back at that first interview, the way that he brought up and literally said it, if we didn't meet organically, like I would have definitely, been more, he was trying to be cute, but maybe it was a play. That's a good point though, Shanjak. And
maybe his spidey sense was actually just starting to tingle, and he's like, "Oh no."
Yeah, maybe. I would love to think that, Shanjak, but maybe I'm just a little too black-pilled to believe it. But sure, hey, if that's what it takes for people to whistleblow on these communist agendas, then good, fine. If it works, it works. Vasidius for 10 says Democrats are and have always been the party of eugenics in every facet of life they come in contact with: speech, environmentalism, abortion, etc. They think they can select for the greater good. I don't even have anything to add. That's just so well put. Yep, you're absolutely right, Vasidius. Toxic Man Flu for 10 says, your slightly different opinion has offended me, Adam. Please get back into the Matrix with the rest of us so we don't have to think. Thanks. XOXOXO. Thank you, Toxic Man Flu. You are fantastic. That was actually an incredibly tame super chat from you. I'm offended, actually. Usually they're way more toxic. So what happened to you? What happened to you, man? Jeez. Take your man card away. Jason Dixon celebrating 22 months. 22 months. That is a long time of support, Jason. That is incredible. That deserves the most righteous of bell rings.
A vigorous ringing, yes.
And a spin of the UFO. This one is just for Jason Dixon. Everyone else, close their eyes. Close your eyes, Caul. Yep. Block it. No one look. Everyone, you better have your eyes closed, chat. No one better be watching this UFO be spinning. This is just for you, Jason. All right, everyone may open their eyes and witness the glory of the spinning UFO. That thing is hauling ass now. Look at that.
Dude, speaking of UFOs, I went down a rabbit hole or two.
Watching
and read. Oh my gosh, dude. I won't even get into it on chat, but
we got to do it another time. I'm going to talk about UFOs.
Dude, when you brought up when we started today and it was NASA, I was like, this is trippy. And like the UFOs, remember I pointed out the UFO? Because
yeah.
Well, I went spelunking down a couple of rabbit holes last night.
This is the UFO side of the screen. This is the America side of the screen. And then I'm right in the middle, you know, between America and UFOs. It's great. Try to bring them together. I don't know. I just made that up. It's not very good. RKO fan for $20 says, "Yo, got you something coming in your PO box. Should be there tomorrow.
Nice.
Don't know if you'll have the time or interest to read it, but if you do, hope you like it. Besides, it makes you look cultured to have it on your shelf." Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. That means a lot to me. Thank you, anyone who has sent me something. I know Robert Wiles has sent me a little something that he has been planning. He was talking about it for a while before I even got my PO box, so I am looking forward to it. And thank you guys very much. I appreciate your support in both, you know, watching me, becoming a member, super chatting me, sharing my videos really does help. Really just showing up for me. That's the most important thing, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. Toxic Man Flu. Here we go. We got another one from Toxic Man Flu. He says, "I just got laid by Mrs. Flu while you guys were in the background, Adam. I am so sedated." So wait, were you cucking? Wait, I don't. That's so weird. All right. So I am sedated. All right. So that explains why you're in a chill state of mind. Well, that was a little more on key for you though. I appreciate you bringing it back a little bit. Oh man. Anyway, you guys are fantastic. That is the show. Caul, thanks for joining as always.
Bro, thank you for bringing me. And I just want to say, I'm super triggered that my perfect record on Base Staff has been permanently sullied.
True.
I've never been late, never missed it. I was like, I can't believe the perfect record is going in the drain. But
well, at least you weren't denied because of some stupid lies and narration. It's not your fault. Wait, I didn't read Jason's super chat. Hold on, Jason had a super chat.
It must be done.
Jason says, "You didn't even read my super chat." Oh my gosh, I didn't. I was so excited about you being a member and spinning the UFO for you. I didn't even read it. I apologize, Jason. How rude of me. Jason, I heartfelt apologies. Let me go back a second. It says, "Adam, I recently had a birthday. I am a Taurus. Taurus makes best friends because we are unflinchingly loyal, and we will fight for our family, our friends. Our friends are our family. Love your coffee, bro." Man, Jason, I'm fairly certain you were my first member. Yeah, I think that's true. You were one of the first people to follow me over, join my chat. You know, another couple people I think of, Montana Horseman. I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's well. You know, I made him one of my mods, and I think, you know, life is probably a little takes precedent over my show, of course. I hope he's well. But I really do appreciate a lot of the people that have been here since the beginning. I feel like I've come a long way from when I set off on my own, or from even before that, because I started in April of 2020. I did the first Adamcast show because I took over the Timcast show and just did the show myself because he was out. And then I moved on. I started doing my own show on Saturdays because I was still doing the Timcast show. It's gone through an evolution, and I sucked at reading things out loud at first. Oh man, I was horrible at that. I've gotten really good at reading out loud. It is a talent, and Tim does it very well. He actually wanted me to read on the show, and I was like, "Dude, I suck at it. You're so good at it. Why I can't do it?" And I would just read chat and just like talk to chat. I would be typing in chat all the time, making fun of Tim while we were live. It was a lot of fun. I had fun on that show, but I have a lot of fun on my show as well. And Base Half Mondays is definitely
pretty legit, yeah.
Such an incredible time. I really do enjoy it. Fluffy Yellow, thank you for that little super lemon and a cat. I can't really see what that is. A little cat. I don't know. It's a cute little super sticker. I appreciate that. Yarn Witch for $10 says, "Adam, if you could have anything knitted or crocheted that's American flag themed, what would it be?" I don't know. I don't know what I need. I'd have to think about that because at the moment I don't need anything, and I'm not one to. I don't really want things that I won't use. So like even in my PO box, if you guys are going to send me something, like a book is good. Something that I will wear is very or not wear, but like use something I will use, not trinkets.
Something consumable.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Consumable.
Yeah, I had a PO box for a while, and there would always be some random stuff that I don't know. I love the homemade stuff like this. This thing sits on top of my computer. I love this. Someone 3D printed a beanie Buddha. It's a Buddha with a beanie on it, and they said we always considered you the beanie Buddha on the Timcast show. It says smash the like button on the back of it, and like this is dope. I love this. Or like the bell that Jason Dixon sent me. This thing is beautiful. I have the light over there. I haven't used it because just the electronics, where it doesn't fit on my spot anymore. I don't have anything behind me. But this bell is so dope.
Dude, it looks just like something you would see in The Shining, like some G1920s awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love this
Classy
thing.
old hotel bell. Yeah.
Right.
Dope.
So, Jason Dixon says, I will always follow you long from now and long after today. Thank you, Jason. Man, you guys are fantastic. Seriously, chat. Thank you so much. Jason, thank you so much. Everyone else in chat, you know who you are. The people who show up for me all the time, every single day, you guys are in here, and it's incredible. I love that. Thank you. Tomorrow, I actually have Steve Inman joining me. Really excited because he is a funny dude, also incredibly smart. He's been on a couple different news channels where he breaks down what's going on. Like, dude is incredibly smart, but is known for commentating silly, sometimes violent videos and turning them into hilarious replays. You've seen his stuff, right? You know who I'm talking about?
Probably, if you showed me, I'm sure.
Let me bring it up because I love his stuff. He's funny. I played one yesterday. Put this back up. Let's see. Let's pick. Oh, top 5. Here we go.
Welcome to San Andreas, where you're free to roam, do whatever the hell you want. Even pound this basketball if you want. Hopefully there won't be consequences, but this man is showing extreme patience here right now with this man. He keeps trying to hit the ball out of his hand. A jab straight to the dome, sends his glasses into the atmosphere. My God, they shed.
What did he think was going to happen?
The guy was thinking you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Would you? He's like, hell yeah! Booyah! Sends his glasses right
his glasses got shattered.
Yeah, dude.
Good night.
He did chicken dances for sure.
I guess he would hit a guy with glasses, apparently. 0 Fs given being displayed in video number 5. Coming in at number 4, this is a little brutal. Not only was it disrespectful and beautiful at the same time, and I don't even know if it classifies as a knuckle sandwich because this guy gives his opponent the taste of his backhand. Coming in at number 4.
Apparently, an argument broke out. This gentleman ate the last of the stovetop stuffing, and now he's about to eat the back of that man's hand. How'd that taste? Let's take a quick look at the replay.
God.
My God, that escalated quickly. All over stovetop stuffing.
His body
for the
goes
love of
ragdoll.
God. You
Watch
can see right
this.
Here,
Here it
I
comes.
just take the stovetop stuffing. I
He
don't
licks
like
his
that
hand.
bad. Licks
He
the back
winds
of his
up.
hand, and
He
then
like
gives him
charges
the
it up.
taste of it. How delicious was that?
All right, so that's who my guest tomorrow is. He's funny, dude. I don't know. Sometimes I'll be, reading the news, scrolling through Twitter, and I'll see one of his videos. I always stop and watch it because I'm like, a little break from the news.
Mm-hmm.
It's always
You always need a little break from the news. Am I right? Even if you're reporting on it.
True. Yeah, it's true. Especially if you're reporting on it.
Especially.
So Jason Dixon again says, I'm going to wear Tim Pool down to have you as a guest. He will have to block me to stop me. Oh, that you're forgetting me in this situation, Jason, if I ever want to be a guest on that show.
Yeah. He needs to woo you if that's the case.
Just saying. I don't know if I'm interested. I'll be honest. He's welcome to come on my show. If he comes on my show first, I'll go on that show. That's it. That's how I'd have to interview him.
I was an original viewer when you were, and when there was no explanation and things happened, I stopped watching and followed you here because, like, you know.
And then you
Call it
rated
like I
me.
see it, and then
You
I
rated
rated
me
you
soon
yeah.
after. And
Mhm.
we became friends.
Hell
And
yeah.
the rest is history. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love all of you. You guys are the best. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Peace.